The casting of Frank Stone from the world of Dead by Daylight is a horror narrative focused game developed by Supermassive Games, released in 2024. I'm gonna say if you have to put it in the world of something, it's normally a sign the makers haven't got much faith in the product to stand on its own. Like Spiral from the Book of Saw, it's just never a good title. Anyway, I'm not a big Dead by Daylight player. I played it in the past, but not much. I like the idea of it, just not overly fond of playing it. I have played all the Supermassive games since Until Dawn, which is my favourite, but I have been steadily decreasing my enjoyment of them. So is mixing this cinematic storytelling with Dead by Daylight going to get them out of this slump? Let's find out. This game is a standalone story, you don't have to play Dead by Daylight to enjoy this game. But I would argue some parts and definitely the ending aren't going to hit for you if you haven't played at least a few games of Dead by Daylight. The story takes place in two different time periods. One is set during the 80s where a group of teenagers are making a Super 8 horror movie in a mill but things go wrong. The other takes place in current day where three strangers have been invited to a manor to sell pieces of a film to a mysterious buyer where things take an unexpected turn. My no spoilers opinion of the story is just okay. It's too long, it starts off with an interesting opening, then it feels like not a lot happens for hours. But then the last hour or so stuff starts to pick up. It feels like it should have been a 4-hour game, not a 7-hour one. The ending is really rad in my opinion, but straight up isn't going to land if you know nothing about DBD. I'll go into spoilers towards the end of the video. Before going into this, I thought this game was going to be the origins of one of the killers from DBD, or maybe some of the characters you play as were from it. This isn't the case. Frank Stone isn't in DBD, and as of right now he hasn't been added to it, even though this would make a lot of sense to do in my opinion. I think this hurts the game overall. People who play this then want to check out DBD to see the characters are going to be disappointed. Same for DBD players. If they play this, they're going to be like, what have these characters got to do with DBD? It makes the game feel kind of pointless to the DBD universe as it is now. A game like this with say a more iconic DBD killer like the Hillbilly or the Trapper would have probably worked better. I'm going to talk about the gameplay first, as I imagine talking about the story is going to take a while, so I'll save that for later. This game plays like every other Supermassive game. Have you played Until Dawn? It's basically the same. It's focused on interactive storytelling. You'll play as a handful of different characters, switching between them when the game decides. You'll make decisions for whoever you are playing as when the game gives you a choice, normally between two options. There can be a secret third option if your characters have the right knowledge, like you read an optional book and it contains info relevant to the conversation. These are very rare though. After you have made a decision, it will come up on the side of your screen, fate changed or relationship increase or decrease, which I like. It makes every decision feel important. What I don't like is when this comes up and I haven't made a decision. It'll come up during cutscenes and I'm always like, hey, I didn't do anything, I didn't change fate, the game did. It kind of annoys me for some reason. Like one part has my character buy firecrackers. Fate changed that, like I didn't make him buy them, he just did that himself. Why is that my fault? At certain more stressful points you'll have to make a decision in a time limit of just a few seconds. I like this as it forces you to go with your gut as you haven't got time to think things over. This is why I've always liked the Telltale games. Almost every decision is timed, it adds to the stress and keeps up the pace. As with the other Supermassive games, there are quick time events when it comes to characters performing actions. I'm indifferent about these, they're never too hard, kind of feels like they're just there to catch you off guard if you're not paying attention. One thing added to this game is the skill checks from DBD. They work the exact same as they do in DBD. Every time I did one I was like, yeah, this is connected to the DBD universe, I understand this reference. In between cutscenes you'll control characters in third person to explore areas. I feel like these games lost a bit of charm when they switched from fixed cameras to third person. Fixed camera always made the game feel more cinematic. Whilst exploring you can find notes, items and collectibles. When you have found where you're supposed to go you will have to hold down the interact button, so I would normally find this and turn around to look around for more collectibles. Collectibles in this game are a doll version of killers from DBD. Some even have a string you can pull on the back so they make noises, which I thought were cute. There are some time puzzles to get collectibles, but they are so minor, just like the most basic move box to stand on. Minor thing that annoyed me is that every bit where you could control a character you'll have this toolbox which shows your collectibles in it. Like why does this need to appear so often? Why aren't these just in the menu with the other collectibles? Items and notes can be interactive with like in LA Noire where you can turn stuff over, as there may be more writing on the back of a page. I like this in LA Noire because you're a detective looking for clues so you have to be thorough. In these games it slightly annoys me. You find say a book, you have to press A to look at it, and then you have to hold RT to pick it up and open it, and then you have to use the right stick to turn the page. Then when you want to put it down you have to watch the book close and be put down. It feels realistic, it just takes so much time, like why can't this process be sped up a bit? You're going to be doing this a lot, if you're looking for notes it just irks me slightly. The graphics as you can see are really good, character models look fantastic for the most part. They can get a bit uncanny valley when they do really close up on their faces, but other than that they're pretty good. Lighting is good, especially when the moon is out, environments have lots of detail and feel like real places. The monster design of Frank Stone is pretty rad, I'm sure people would buy him if he was added to DBD. Voice acting is alright all round, no one stood out as terrible or great, everyone was just kind of serviceable in my opinion. I did not experience any glitches, so that's great. This game's big selling point is the branching story. Every decision you make is important supposedly. Characters can die early into the story or not at all depending on what you choose. Now I've only done one playthrough. I was going to do more but I don't think I got it in me to play through it again so soon after beating it. I imagine decisions are about as important as they are in other Supermassive games. The story is going to play out the same way, just what characters are alive will be different. Which, looking at the branching timeline, I think I'm correct as all roads lead to the same ending. So I'm going to talk about how the story played out for me. Spoilers from here, skip to this time code to see where it ranks. The game opens up with a police officer, Sam Green, searching for a missing baby at a steel mill in 1963. After looking around, he eventually finds the baby in the furnace where he's attacked by Frank Stone. Sam manages to shoot Frank, who falls into the furnace where his body turns into a mist, which then the claw thing from DVD is high above him. It's a good opening if a little slow. What I just described takes about 30 minutes to get through. Unfortunately, this is where the slow pace continues. You now play as Madison in 2024, who is on her way to the manor after receiving an invitation. On her way there, she sees a broken down car and a woman trying to fix it. I decided to pull over and give this woman a lift. Her name is Linda. She is also going to the same manor. During the car, I found out she is a filmmaker and that Madison has recently lost her mother. When they arrive at the manor, they do something that proper irritates me in movies. No lights are on in the manor, so they leave the car lights on, which is fine, but when they eventually go in, they don't switch them off. Like, think of the car's batteries for Christ's sake. After looking around for a bit, they run into Stan, who's immediately a douche. They ask him how long he's been here and he says, "More than a minute, less than a lifetime." Like, what a douchey thing to say. He has also been invited here, so we got a classic then there were none situation going on here. Then their host Augustine shows up where it's revealed they all have a piece of a film strip for a film called Murder Mill, which Augustine wants. Linda worked on Murder Mill back in the 80s and Stan says it's a cursed movie that makes people go violent when they watch it, and how all copies of the film were destroyed. They all put their pieces of film into a bowl to prove they have them, I guess? Like, no one says put them in the bowl, they just do it. They also haven't accepted the deal yet, so why not keep them on you? It's important later, but it feels weird as it was happening. Augustine has to leave for an unknown reason, leaving the three on their own. This is where we cut to 1980, where a young Linda is making Murder Mill with her friends Jaime and Chris. Jaime is the actor, Chris is the director, they are also dating. They get kicked out of the mill by Sam from the opening, who is now the sheriff. The camera breaks whilst they are on their way out. Linda explains to them about Frank Stone, which inspires Chris to use the mill more in the film and adds Franks to the story. Side note, what is their movie? They only have 2 actors, it's awfully shot and it doesn't even seem like they're using a lot of props. So they need money to fix the camera, so Jaime asks his sister Bonnie for money. Bonnie is Madison's mum from 2024 bits. So they're off to the drugstore to get their camera fixed. This is where we meet the sheriff's son Robert, he works there. Turns out the camera can't be fixed, so they try the newly opened curiosity shop across the street, which has a bunch of DVD references inside like killers' masks and weapons. It also has a TV you can turn on which shows a hallway from the manor for some reason, plus you can't switch it off, which is just rude. The owner, an old lady, comes out and offers them a new camera for $15. I haggled and got a hand mirror thrown in as well, which never got brought up again. The owner is revealed in the next cutscene via voiceover to be Augustine, where she says she has worn many masks over the years. So there's clearly something up with her if she looks younger in 2024 than she did in the 80s. She also hints that the camera has some sort of power. This is where we cut back to 2024 where the gang decides to have a wander around the manor. Come dine with me style. Where we find out Stan won his film strip by gambling and Madison found her film strip in her mum's belongings. I was playing as Linda at this point and I did not ask Madison about her mum, which apparently she wasn't happy about. Like, I'm sorry Madison, let's stay focused here. I did ask eventually and Linda is like, you look just like your mum, but I'm not seeing it. The gang then sees an intruder through a conveniently open window. They panic and try to hide in a nearby room which has a big gate in front of it. We then go back to the 80s where nothing really happens. Chris asks Robert to help with the shoot. Robert knows his dad's patrol route so he can sneak everyone back into the mill. This makes Jaime jealous because Chris and Robert are talking to each other. Like, grow the fuck up, Jaime. I'm gonna skip over a bunch of nothingness to save time. They sneak into the mill. Robert makes a Groundhog Day reference at some point. First step's a doozy, so he's my new favourite character. They shoot their movie and find Frank's secret base, which was not well hidden. Like, if you knew a serial killer kidnapped kids and took them to the mill, would you not search every inch of the place? Chris, Jaime and Robert find a decapitated head and a severed hand, so Robert's like, okay, I gotta go tell my dad this is a crime scene. Like, yeah, fair enough, so he leaves. This is where Chris has moved the hand outside of the secret base so she can get shots of it. This causes an argument between Linda and Jaime. She's absolutely in the wrong, like why not just shoot the hand in the base, why move it at all? But because she shot the hand with the camera, this summons the spirit of Frank Stone through a portal, which Chris gets sucked into Evil Dead 2 style. Jaime manages to escape Frank. We are now back in 2024 where the intruder is revealed to be Sam. He is here to stop Augustine from getting the film strip. Sam accuses Stan of stealing the film strip from his son who isn't well. Madison and the douche leave Linda and Sam to catch up. Madison and the douche find a weird Event Horizon looking machine where someone is screaming for help inside. Madison manages to free the person, turns out it's Chris, the portal sender to the future. I was like, okay, this is cool. Then in my playthrough, given the options, it made sense that the machine could probably send her back, so she went back into the machine and got sent back to the 80s. Which felt like a bit of a letdown. Madison just met a time traveller and was like, that's cool, then sends her back. Kinda pointless. If I do play this again, I'm definitely going to keep Chris in 2024 if that's an option. Everyone meets up in a manner where it's revealed Augustine has all their film strips, and she's put them together. She locks everyone in a room and plays it for them. So back in the 80s, Linda figures out that the camera can be used to defend against Frank Stone. Chris doesn't seem too bothered by time travelling. Bonnie showed up earlier to do absolutely nothing, then in my playthrough she tries to run past Frank, but he catches her and impales her on a hook, killing her. This is shown to the 2024 gang on film, which should be impossible as Bonnie survived that night in order for Madison to be born. This means we're dealing with the multiverse, baby! This is hinted at by notes you can find throughout the game. I don't really know how I feel about it. It doesn't add much to the game. It's not like the multiverse has a big part to play in this story. It maybe does in the DVD, but not in this game. I'm going to speed through this bit. In the 80s, Sam gets to the mill and uses the camera to defeat Frank and trap him in the camera. So in my playthrough, everyone survived in the 80s besides Bonnie, who I'm guessing has to die. I don't know what choice I could have made to save her. So in 2024, because the film strips have been brought back together, Frank Stone's free and the claw creature appears in the sky. He is about to kill Linda, but I chose to sacrifice Sam to save her. So Sam gets inhaled by Frank's chest and becomes a part of him, which is really cool as you can see his head trapped under his skin. The girls work together to lift the gate and get out of the room. Stan thinks by just pulling on the bars the gate is going to do something. This leads to his death, which I'm fine is because he was a bit of a cock. Linda and Madison power up the elevator to escape. Madison steps on, Linda could have, but then she's like, no, I'm going to stay and distract it. Like what, just get on the fucking elevator. I'm guessing you have to have one character for the next bit, this is why they did it. Also the claw thing kills Augustine, which seems a bit anticlimactic. Anyway, Madison sees scenes of the 80s gang splitting at the film. They don't destroy it just in case Frank can get out that way. She then finds a campfire where Linda and some strangers sat around it. Frank can be seen watching them from the trees. Madison's like, why is he not attacking us? Then Linda is like, we have been waiting for you to begin. The claw thing is going to play with us for the rest of eternity. This is so cool, it's the pre-game lobby from DBD. They are now stuck to endlessly play games of DBD for the rest of the time. A great horror twist that connects it to Dead by Daylight. Then the credits play, all that's missing for me is the sole theme song to play. It would have hit so hard in my opinion. See what I mean where you have to at least play DBD to get this ending? If you just played this you wouldn't really get the reference. So yeah, that's it. I skipped over a bunch of stuff, that's because not a lot happens. If this was just a few hours shorter, it could have been great. The ending does make the rest of the game seem kind of pointless however. None of the characters were super likeable, at least to me. They don't seem to act like normal human beings sometimes. They do stupid things just so the rest of the plot can happen. The story doesn't feel very connected to the DBD universe outside of a few Easter eggs scattered throughout. Overall, I think I enjoyed my time with the casting of Frank Stone, but I'm not sure I'd be saying that if it wasn't for the ending. The pace slows right down after the intro and takes a long time to pick up again. It's definitely not better than Until Dawn or most Telltale games. If you like these type of games, you'll find some enjoyment in this one. If you don't like these type of games, this one's not going to change your opinion. Let's rank it! I'm feeling number 23. I would say I did like this game for the most part, so it's going above DMC2, which I don't like that much. DMC2 definitely has a worse story. I can't put the casting of Frank Stone any higher because I enjoyed the games above it more. I would rather play any of them than sit through this one again. Well that's it, I'm going to go change my fate now.